Hi, I'm Sarah and welcome to my channel. There's a new video going around which is baby tag names, where you go through some questions and you answer them with the names that you like, your favourite, so not names that you generally pick for your children, names that you wanted when you was younger, or just different names to obviously what you've called your children. So I thought I'd go through that. The first question is, if I had a baby tomorrow, what would I call them? Obviously girl and boy name. Me and my husband is very difficult to agree on names. But personally, I would still go with the A theme. Obviously I've got Ava and Andrew at the minute, and I kind of like the fact it's like that. It's very similar to my husband's family. Their initials are always SAD. Sad. And my husband's is the same, and then obviously when I got married, my initials now are the same as my husband's, except for obviously the middle one. I'm SLD, but SD anyway, so I get very confused if we get letters I don't say Mr. or Mrs. in front of them, because we're both SD Luke. But yes, the names that I'd call my kids if I had another one tomorrow. The boy's name, I love the name Aiden, obviously spelled with an A and not a hey, Hayden with a H. I'd go with Aiden with an A. I think it's a really nice name, and I can imagine myself with an Aiden, if that makes sense. There's certain names I think of and I'm like, I can't imagine me shouting that name out to shout for my child, so I tend to go for that. And then the second one is, this is the name that I wanted to call Ava, but me and my husband couldn't agree on it, which is Alyssa. But I like Ali, and that's the name we couldn't agree on, but I like the longer version of Alyssa, and then obviously a nickname of Ali. I love that name. It's just, I don't know, there's something about these names that I just like. They just have a nice flow to them. So the second question is what I would name myself, or what I'd rename myself, starting with the same initial. There is something that I wanted to name myself when I was younger, but that's a separate question. So I thought I'd give a different answer for this one. I kind of like the name Sophia. There's a few names on the list that I kind of like I liked Sadie and Sophia. They were the two that I was looking at, and then I thought, I don't feel that I look like a Sadie, so I would prefer to go to like Sophia. I think it's a nice name. So the third one is, what would you have been or wished you would have been if you was a different gender? I can't remember what my mum wanted to call me if I was a boy. Can't remember that at all. But I kind of find a name that I really like, and I'd stay with the same initial, and it's Spencer. Don't know why, it just has a nice ring to it, and yeah, Spencer, I think it's just a lovely name. Which then leads me on to what are my favourite vintage names, and the boy is Spencer. Same answer, could not change that one. The second one, which I've never really heard of before, I have but not very often, and I don't know, it's just, it sounded very pretty, and it's Darla. There was a vintage name on there which was obviously Ava, but I didn't want to say Ava because I have an Ava, so I thought I'd go with Darla. I don't know, it just sounds so pretty. So yeah, I kind of like that name, it's really nice. The next one is my favourite nature names, obviously for a girl and a boy. There's not that many really boy names, but there's quite a lot of obviously girls, because you can name after flowers and things like that. I like the name Rose. I've kind of always liked the name Rose. It's just a nice pretty name. And the boy's name is Forrest. It reminds me of Forrest Gump, which I don't mind. But it's just got one of those, like I said, all of these names are names that I can imagine, like if I'm trying to shout for my children, like they're upstairs saying, like, I don't know, Forrest, come and get your dinner, something like that. It's names that I can imagine myself shouting, like to get my child to come downstairs, or you know, telling them off. But yeah, so I kind of go with that, and that's the name that I can imagine obviously fitting into the family. The next question, so question number 6, is favourite YouTubers' names, or names of their children. And one that I really like, I don't know if you know of her, but her name's Mrs. Meldrum. I love all of the girls' names. She has Poppy, Florence and Sophia. But I really like Florence. It's a pretty name. Yeah, I really like that name. It's just something flowing about it, and it just sounds very pretty. So that would be my favorite YouTuber's name. The next one is my favorite literature names. So obviously names that have been in books and things like that. For the boy, I've always liked this name ever since I was younger, and its name's Charlie. I've always liked the name Charlie. And it is my son's favourite film, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He is obsessed with that film. I don't know, there's just something nice flowing about it, and I don't know, it's got some meaning to it as well, I think, because obviously when my mum was pregnant, she called the baby Charlie, because obviously Charlie would be for a girl and for a boy. Obviously that's what my brother's not named. But it's just, I don't know, it's just such a nice name. And the second one I went for, which is, I always find a dead pretty name, and I've not really found it anywhere except for the Harry Potter books, and that is Luna. Obviously Luna Lovegood, but yeah, I love it sounds obviously magical. I mean, I know kind of like, also it kind of reminds me of like the lunar eclipse type thing, but it's just, I don't know, it's just a very magical name. It sounds like a magical name, so I think it's just really pretty. Number 8 is, what are my favourite O names? That's not Oliver or Olivia. Oscar. I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those names. I think that sounds nice and it rolls off the tongue nice, and I've always liked the name Oscar. I just think it's a really pretty name. Obviously it's for boys, I didn't choose anything for girls, but yeah, I really like the name Oscar. Right, so question number 9 is, what did I want to call myself when I was younger? To be honest, it wasn't a big change. I did want to call myself something different, and I wanted, obviously my name's Sarah, I wanted to remove the H. I wanted to be Sarah, or even Sarah just without a H, but obviously most people pronounce that Sarah. I don't know, I just preferred it. It's not a massive change, but yeah, I just didn't want my H there. Strangely enough. Question 10. What would you veto? What would you immediately veto and rule out names that are like, I don't know, mine are, there's a lot of names that I like. I like old-fashioned names and like nature names and things like that, but there is like a category in particular that I'm not a massive fan of, and that's like objects. I like things like flowers names and like the nature names and stuff like that, but more like household objects. So for example, like blanket and things like that. I don't know, because I always kind of like look deep into the name, so it needs to like roll off my tongue and I need to think of something. It needs to kind of remind me of something nice, and if I'd call my child like blanket, it wouldn't remind me of anything nice. Like, no, I don't know, I just could not imagine that. And it's the same for like pillow, and so I like being named after things, but when it comes to household objects, I think it's just a bit, I don't know, it doesn't kind of like, it's obviously unique, but it doesn't sound, I would never feel comfortable calling my child that, if that makes sense, like shouting them from downstairs saying, "Pillow, your dinner's ready." I don't know. I thought Willow's nice. Things like pillow, blanket, that type of thing, I just, no, I just wouldn't imagine myself having a child with that name. But yes, that is the end of the video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. I'm a mum of 2, Ava and Andrew, who are 3 and 6. I post 4 videos a week on this channel every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday and Saturday at 7 PM. I do videos, all different ones, cleaning hauls, speed clean, all the hauls, Primark hauls, lifestyle, motherhood, everything like that really. So if it's something you're interested in watching, please remember to subscribe and press that notification bell. But I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day, and I will see you soon. Bye!